Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of West Coast Gridiron. My name is Coach Freeman. I know it's been a while since I've posted anything. To be really honest, a little quick update, I've switched schools. As you can see, I got a nice fancy looking whiteboard. Switched schools literally 2 weeks before the season started in 2021. Made a change just as far as it was closer to home. About 12 minutes away from my house, and as you all know, with all the rising gas prices and everything, it was probably the best decision I ever could have made. So, happy where I'm at. Want to share some new things with you, things that I've tried and things that I've started to do over this past season. So, I have posted a previous look at our two-punter rugby system. That's something I've been working on and playing with. I have now looked at adding some pieces to it. We ran it in one game last year because we had a left-footed kicker. We didn't have it until late in the season. And the things that we were able to do with it really put the punt return team in a little bit of a quandary, and we were able to get some first downs out of it because no matter what the punt return team did, they were wrong. So our base formation out of this, now I'm going to go and erase some of this and see how that goes. So our base formation, again, is just like a normal shield punt. We're about maybe 2 yards in between each. 1.5 yards, 2 yards. Our normal shield, we're about 2, 2.5, and 3. But when we go the two-punter system, we're about 2 yards apiece. Our two shield guys are about 7 to 8, right off the inside foot of the long snapper. And then we have our right-footed punter, or right punter, and our left punter. So this is the base formation. This is how it looks in there at about 12 to 15 yards. So makes it real simple, real easy. And again, no matter what the punt return team does, they're wrong. They fill all these gaps, which is what most teams tend to do against us, against our punt look. So right there they got 8. Usually 2 linebackers to some degree, either over the center and then 1 return. So if they do that, we're going to punt either away from their returner. If their returner is really good, we'll go away from the punter, or we'll kick to our better kicker, whoever that would be, whether it's the left-footed kicker or the right-footed kicker. So it really doesn't matter in that front. And if we're going to kick to the right, again, this is a little bit of review. If we're going to go right for us, we usually make an even number call or an odd number call, kind of depends. We're trying to change that up a little bit. But in any case, say we're going to the right, everybody reaches right. We don't block the last man, everybody's reaching right. First man to the inside. He's blocking anything off the edge. He's playing cleanup, anything here. And then our left punter will be playing cleanup, anything that tries to sneak through on this side, and he's attacking the line of scrimmage. And he doesn't kick the ball until he gets threatened. So that's the base. If we were kicking to the right, that's the base look. The snapper just snaps directly to the middle. Whichever punter's getting it just steps, catches, and takes off. So again, nobody really knows who's punting until that ball is snapped. At least on the punt return team, they don't know. So again, makes things a little bit complicated for them to figure out, but the count is still done by our right shield. So he'll take a look at what they're doing. If they're overloading one side for whatever reason, if they're trying to do something like this, trying to say, okay, fine, you're going to set a blocker, but we're going to put an extra defender out there. Well, now they've set us up for our option play on the backside, or they set us up to at least punt to that side. Because if we got 6 over here and 4 over here, we're going to go to the side that doesn't have. Obviously, we have numbers. We have the number advantage. So that's how we preface it. He makes the call. He'll confirm it. And then we'll go the snap count. And he's just going to snap it. Most punters, you'll see, sometimes they'll do the little hands. We don't bother with that. Literally, once they confirm it, they make the call. Snapper punts it, or snapper snaps it when he's ready. So the punter just has to be ready to step in at any given time. So again, he'll make the count. He'll look at the 6 over here, the 4 over there. So let's just say we're running rugby left now. Again, same thing. Everybody's just reaching to the gap to the inside, to the side of the call. He's setting the edge, whatever's coming. He's going to play cleanup with whatever comes inside. He's going to back block whatever comes, and then he's attacking the edge. If nothing threatens him, he's going for the first down. Even if it's 4th and 5, 4th and 8, 4th and 10, if we're able to get all these blocks and he's able to set an edge and he can go, and he can get there before this returner is able to get over the top and go get to him, let's go get the first down. We were able to do this a couple times in our last game, and it worked out really well for us because, again, the punt return team, they hadn't seen it all year. We didn't run it until our last game because our left-footed punter, unfortunately, was also our quarterback, and he got hurt in the 3rd game of the season, broke his collarbone, and he didn't come back till the last game of the season. So we were able to do some things in the last game that were really nice special teams-wise. Now, what have I changed? What have I adjusted? We did add in a pass play, which I know I didn't go over on the last one. On our shield punt system, we had a pass play out of this, or out of our original shield punt, we had a pass play, which basically is the same thing for us. Nothing changes, but if we're going to run, you know, option or option pass, which if we were to run option, I know some people, I got some comments and it was like, why would you run option when you already have rugby? It's just something a little different for us to do. So option for us, if we're going to go option right, and the nice thing is we go option right or option left, and at a shield, I could really only do option pass when we went right, because the way it was set up is I could only really do option pass to the right because our other shield was here and our punter was there. So we had to have the option pass between, or the option between these two, and then our pass had to go to one of these two guys. But with 2 back here now, I can option these 2 or option these 2. And if I'm optioning right this way, I can pass to either one of these 2. If I'm optioning this way, I can pass back to either one of them. So our regular option, obviously we got down block, down block, down block, help. If they can get up there, that's great. Fill, fill, fill. We have attack the line of scrimmage, get option win, option the last man, right there. Playing cleanup, playing cleanup. Now this is where the option pass comes in, because depending on which guy's the more athletic, we can send them on a little fake. The only thing I've added now, instead of having, because originally I would send him and still have him play cleanup. One thing I did tag or add is, instead of having these 2 do it, I'm having a receiver who's usually a gunner for us, like on this side. We might tag him with like an out or a hitch or a go. So instead, these guys do their same jobs, and instead he might be doing something like that. We might tag it with a corner, tag it with a go. So basically it's a quick pitch. He'll go set block last man. He'll take 2 steps, stop, and then throw all the way across the field. So that's kind of how I've adjusted our option pass look. I can do it in one of 2 ways. I can do it passing to an actual receiver if I want, or I can do it the original way and still have him block. And if I want it to be the punter, or I can have him fake out, and then we can still toss it to that left shield if we wanted to. So that's some things I've done with option and option pass. And again, we can do it either side. So if we want to go the other way, hey, this whiteboard's kind of fun, to be brutally honest, with all the new technology we got going on here. So, but in any case, so again, we can go the opposite way if we wanted. And if we want to run option pass this way, again, it's the same thing. We're running option here. They're down blocking. First thread inside. He might help and try to get to that backer if he can. Reach, reach. Back, back block. Again, we're running option here, option the last man on the line of scrimmage right there. And again, we can do the same thing. We pitch it and we're running option. That's great. Or we can tag this receiver, have him run that out, have him run a corner, a hitch, a go. Kind of depending on how they're playing him, if they're playing with a corner over the top, or if they're just playing like this, like what we mostly got. We We can do that. Or, like I said, we can kind of keep it original and we can sneak him out and throw the fade on the backside. So again, when that option happens, it happens a lot quicker, and it's a quick pitch and then release. So again, playing some games, having some fun. Again, I like to be aggressive with special teams. I decided to do a 2-kicker punt system. We're sticking with it. We're going to train a left-footed punter and a right-footed punter. If we don't have a left-footed punter, we're going to train one. We're going to create one. So, I mean, I'm not going to just do this for a year as a gimmick. We're going to buy into this and use this front as much as we can. So, what else have I added? So, like I said, I decided to change things up. We added the option pass. We've had regular option. And then I also decided to use the receivers instead of my shields and my punter as the receiver on option pass. So what else have we done? One thing I'm looking at, and I'm kind of stealing this from college, is the unbalanced kind of looks that I've seen with some different slots, some wings, some things like that. And this is stuff I'm playing with, but again, it's just to get numbers and to get things where we want them. So, and again, just to see what the defense will do and the punt return team will do. So, for example, if we're on the hash over here, I might decide, okay, hey, let's go tackle over to the field side. So now we have 4 over there, and we only have 2 over there. And we'll still do our normal just to see what the punt return team will do. Now, if they just want to fill the gaps, so now they've already got 5 just to fill the gaps, 6, 7, 8. So now they got 3 on this side. They still have their kick returner right there. Wherever they might put them to the field thinking we're going to kick that way. And then they might shade their backers even and cheat them over. So if they want to cheat them over, fantastic. We'll down block into an option, or just rugby right into the boundary. Yes, we have a shorter side, but we've got the leverage, we've got the numbers. And I like option because we can down block, and then we can option the last man, and he shouldn't get there. Because these guys are running back, linebackers, hopefully not linemen. I have had linemen back here in the past. I've had to scheme it a little different, but we've been able to do that. So again, if I have a lineman back here, I'm telling them, if it's 4th and 4 or longer, you're kicking it no matter what. Or I'm not running option with him. So again, that's just one of those things I've had to think about, because we did have a lineman last year who was one of our punters, and I've had to think, okay, if I have a lineman back here kicking, how am I going to do any kind of fakes out of it? I don't want to be stuck to where I can only go one side, because then that's easy to scheme against and figure out, okay, well, if they do this, they're only going to run the fake this way. I'd like to be able to run fakes either way. And if they try to stay even, because they realize we're trying to unbalance them, and they try to stay even as possible, and they try to keep everybody even. Well, now I got numbers to this side, and I can run option this way and down block everybody and still kick out and be fine on that route. So again, no matter what the punt return team does, I should have a +1. I should. Again, is that always going to happen? No, but I should be pretty close to having that. So, and again, this is to just see what they do, and it doesn't take any skin off our back. Because again, if they line up perfect, or if we don't like it, like say they line up and they're perfectly fine, and they got their group, and they got their 4 here and their 6 over here to kind of match us. It's like, okay, that's a pretty fast backer. I don't think I like it, but we can still punt that way. Fine. Reach, reach, reach. Block, attack until you're threatened. I still like the numbers on that side. I just don't like the fake, because maybe that backer is one hell of a scraper, and I think he might be able to attack it. Or like I said, that's a lineman, and I don't like it, but it's 4th and 3. He might be able to get 3 yards. He might not be able to get 5 or 6. So instead of running options, like, hey, let's just run rugby right into the boundary, because I like our options and our numbers on that side. So, and again, same thing over here. We could just go to the left, even against this, because let's just say, like I said, this is nice, but he's our better punter. So fine, we're going to go left, everyone's going to reach to their left gap, set the edge, attack, fill and block backside. So again, we can still attack the line of scrimmage going that way because either he or he's going to be the first threat. So that's fine. The left-footed kicker can still go and kick. We're fine. We're good. So we can do it either way. So our punt team is never really in any kind of stress. It's just a matter of how aggressive we want to be based on the game. So that's us bringing somebody over to the field side. Well, I thought to myself, like, well, what's one thing as a defensive coach I hate is trips into the boundary. I just don't like trips into the boundary. There's always kind of all those funky things they can do, putting trips into the boundary. Is how you really want to defend that. You put yourself in an interesting position because if they're best receivers, that number one out here, then you have your best corner out to the field. So I thought to myself, well, what if I do the same thing on punt? What if I do the exact same thing on punt? So if we go for this side and only, to this side, well now, how's the defense going to do that? How's the punt return team going to after that? If they're going to do the same thing and fill all the gaps and have a backer sit, okay, you're putting everybody in the boundary, you're going to fill all your gaps here and probably have a backer sitting somewhere there. Okay, fine. Now you've got all your guys in the boundary. If this is my running back or one of my receivers that's really fast, I might just go ahead and go, hey, let's go option and let's just say, hey, let's go for it. This guy comes up, I'm saying my guy's going to beat your guy to the first down. So again, playing little games, trying to get a number, being aggressive, and again, even as a coach, I hate burning timeouts. So in my head, worst case scenario, I get the coach to burn a timeout because he's going to be like, wait, I haven't seen this. Because one thing I tend to do is I try to set things up. So we're going to run our regular punt for the first 2 or 3 games. And then we might come out in a boundary over kind of look, or we might come out in a field over kind of look to see what they do. So, might burn a timeout, they might just try to line up. But again, it's really reliant on can he confirm and can he make the correct count. So again, we can still do it either way. That's kind of the nice thing about this, because again, some of you might say, well, would you kick it in the boundary on that? Yeah, it's pretty much going to be a kick. Because if they're reaching, again, we got somebody to reach every gap. We're fine. He's help setting edge, he's playing cleanup, he's attacking, but he's going to run out of room going into the boundary, so he's going to kick. So where could I envision myself using this? Right around anywhere between our 40 to their 40. It's too far for us to kick a field goal, but maybe I want to coffin corner them to some degree like that, so then that way they can't set up any kind of field return. So I'm going to make sure I kick it away, especially if he's a burner and a good returner. I'm going to coffin corner them into the boundary. And again, they're taught to really wait to that last second to kick it, and it's basically kicked towards the sideline. So then that way, if it bounces and go out of bounds, that's really the worst case scenario for us that's going to happen. So that's what I try to do with this, is try to get it. I want to be aggressive, but I also want to set it up to where there's the least possible opportunity that there's going to be any kind of return or setback for us. Last formation I played with, so again, that's going field and boundary and really kind of changing things up as far as how we line up. Last thing I looked at, and honestly, I just kind of came up with this a little bit last week, and again, I was watching more film on some of like Clemson and Notre Dame and some of these teams that run these shield punt formations and play games with it. The last little thing I looked at was basically a wide formation. So normal 5, 2 yards-ish, but then really splitting somebody out to the numbers. Either top of the numbers or on the numbers. Still having the same grouping, but now, okay, you're going to fill the gaps. That could be their regular defensive line. Like most people do, those can be backers. Backer here, backer there. So corner, corner, return. So now, if that's their front, they have 4, I have 4, I got numbers. if I'm going to run these guys as returners or routes, they're going to take these guys out of the play entirely. So depending on what I do, if I run rugby right, I have 3-on-3 essentially, so I can still run my rugby punt that way. And the nice thing about this is it almost can turn into an RPO, because if this corner wants to be aggressive, it's like, okay, remember our pass idea option? Well, now if he's aggressive and wants to come attack, now we can just say, okay, fine, just go find the hole and sit, take 2 steps and throw it to him, if the corner wants to be aggressive. Otherwise, we can still attack until this backer gets there. So that's kind of the nice thing I was looking at this, like, well, this kind of gives me another option to be aggressive, but also safe, because if that corner bails, we can still run regular rugby. But if he wants to try and play some kind of aggressive play on us and be kind of a force defender and make me kick, or if they try to block it that way, then I can catch and throw and just get a nice open throw to my wide receiver. So, gonna try and figure that out. That would be kind of like 2nd or 3rd time. Hopefully we don't punt that much. But if people scout us and they see it, and again, this could be a formation against our league teams where all of a sudden we come out and wide. Are they gonna call a timeout? Are they just gonna line up? Or anything like that nature. And again, we could still run option as well, because we would have the leverage. We're here. We can option him, option the last man, and then if I think he's better than him, let's get 2 yards. Obviously 4 or 5 might not be as much. We might be like, hey, let's just kick it. But again, this is something I'm playing with, and again, we can still also run option pass on the back end. Because let's just say, you know, everyone's bailing, we can tip it here, and he can run a little post route and get over the top, and he can catch it and toss it back to the receiver on the backside over here. So, playing some games with formation, and again, those of you that have seen some of these videos or you've listened to the West Coast Gridiron podcast, you know I'm big on being aggressive with special teams. I don't know why I've kind of fallen in love with it. Special teams is kind of my thing now, and I like trying to come up with new ways and new formations to play games with the other side, the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, or special teams coordinator. We all know in high school, usually the special teams coordinator ends up either being the head coach, the defensive coach, or there's really, at least from the staffs that I've been on in my 15 years of coaching, there's usually not just a special teams coordinator. They're usually doing something else, or they're coordinating something else as well. So, again, playing games, but it doesn't break away from our base system. It doesn't break away from us fundamentally, and it doesn't take us very long to coach. It doesn't take us very long to coach up our kids, and it takes us 5 minutes to put in a new formation. It might take the other team a day to go against all the things we can do out of this. So that's kind of the fun part about it, and that's why, and again, the swinging gate was always something that I hated to coach against, because we always had to take time with it. 9 times out of 10, most of the teams we played didn't bother doing anything out of it. They just did it to make us either burn a timeout or see if we could really screw it up and get an easy 2 points on us. So kind of the same idea, like, okay, I'm going to put something in that's going to take me 5 minutes to coach, just the formation, not anything else. Like, we could still do all of our normal stuff, nothing changes, but you got to spend a day or 10 or 15 minutes out of your practice time, instead of focusing on offense or defense, to focus on our special teams. So that's kind of the nice thing that I enjoy about special teams, is that it gives you leverage. A lot of people just treat it like the last 5 minutes of practice, or the last week of spring, or the last week of summer. We do special teams every single day. So that's kind of the one thing I've adjusted from my previous school. We were trying to do special teams either at the beginning or the end. I'm like, nope, now we put it right smack dab every day. We do a different special teams every day. I try to hit them all in a week. Might try to hit 2 in a day, kind of depends. We might do punt and punt return, kickoff and kick return. As we get more numbers, we'll do both. And as we continue to build things up, we'll end up doing both. Because right now, we're still getting guys coming back out from baseball and track and all that stuff. So trying to clean all that up. But in any case, this will be a nice, again, addition. So we have our normal punt scheme where everybody's in. And we can just read numbers. We can put a guy over into the boundary. We can put a guy over into the field. We can go wide with it and play games with receivers. So it's a fun thing. I've enjoyed playing games with it, and again, I can't wait to kind of see how it goes, because then I would love to put just some film up for you guys so you can see that, kind of see how we ran and see what we did. Like I said, we only ran it a couple times last year, but I want to be able to put up like a full video and put up a full kind of film session on how we do this. And I also want to do that with our field goal as well. I do have some film on our field goal, but I want to do a lot of that on there. Some things up and coming. I will be really working hard on now that things are kind of slowing down for me as far as we're getting ready to go into summer, and I'm now back comfortable with being in my teaching role. I'm going to make sure I try to get videos out, as far as videos out on Fridays, and I'm going to try and get the podcasts out on Mondays. Please like, share, comment below. Let me know if there's something else you want me to touch on, or if you've seen some of my other videos. I do have different playlists as far as defense, offense, and special teams, and then obviously just journey becoming a head coach, which I'll be adding some to that as well. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments, and all that good stuff. Always remember, be great, push limits, and hold the line, and thank you for watching West Coast Gridiron.